The interview footage is where this thing really took off. Fans started compiling clips, and when you put them side by side, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. First, the eye contact. In group press settings, when multiple cast members are answering questions together, there's a very natural tendency to look around the room, engage different people, keep it moving. Belmont and Ella consistently find each other's eyes, mid-answer, mid-laugh. It's the kind of unconscious gravitational pull that body language experts will tell you literally cannot fake. Your eyes go where your attention is, full stop. Second, the mirroring. If you know anything about nonverbal communication, you know that people subconsciously mirror the body language of people they feel deeply connected to. Leaning the same direction, matching energy levels, laughing at the same beat. Watch any extended interview clip of these two together, and you will see it happening in real time. It's almost like they're operating on the same frequency without even realizing it. Third, and this one really got fans talking, there was a specific moment during a group roundtable where Ella said something completely offhand, clearly not meant to be a big deal, and Belmont's entire face changed. Not dramatically, subtly. The kind of subtle that a camera catches and a fan edits into a compilation at 2 a.m. That clip has been circulating in the Bridgerton fan community ever since, and people are not letting it go. Now let's talk about social media, because this is where the real detective work happens, and fans have been thorough. It started with the likes. Small thing, right? Wrong. When you're a celebrity with thousands of notifications flooding in every day, the posts you choose to actively engage with tell a story. Both Belmont and Ella have been consistently liking, commenting on, and resharing each other's content in a way that goes beyond the standard support your castmate energy. There's a warmth to it. Comments that reference inside jokes or specific details that suggest they're actually paying attention to each other's lives beyond the professional surface level. Then there's the posting behavior around filming. Whenever one of them posts from a location or an event, the other often surfaces in the same orbit shortly after. Not always tagged, not always obvious, but fans with spreadsheets have noticed. And yes, there are absolutely fans with spreadsheets. This is Bridgerton. What did you expect? There was also a stories exchange, and I'm going to be careful here not to read too much into it, where the back and forth had a very specific energy that regular co-star interactions just don't have. When people are close in that particular way, there's a playfulness, a shorthand, a comfort level that bleeds through even carefully curated social media posts, and fans picked up on it immediately. Here's where it gets really interesting, because a lot of people are asking, does this real-life connection actually translate to their Bridgerton performances? And based on what we've seen from early Season 5 promotional material, and the clips that have made it out, the answer appears to be a hard yes. There's a reason why certain on-screen pairings just work in a way that others don't. You can write the most beautiful dialogue, you can hire the most talented directors, but if two actors don't have genuine chemistry, the audience feels the absence of it. It's a vibe thing. It's ineffable. And what fans are saying about Belmont and Ella's scenes together is that they feel lived in, natural. Like two people who actually know each other deeply, which, given everything we've just walked through, might not be entirely a coincidence. Think about what we know about how the Bridgerton casting process works. Shondaland doesn't just cast for talent, they cast for compatibility. Chemistry reads are a real part of the process, and when two people pass a chemistry read and apparently develop a real-life closeness on top of it, that is when you get the kind of screen presence that launches ships, that builds fandoms, that keeps people coming back season after season. Benedict and Sophie prove that, and now fans are wondering if history is about to repeat itself. The fan community response to all of this has been fascinating to watch, because it's not just shipping in the standard sense, it's more layered than that. A lot of the discourse is actually about how refreshing it is to see two young actors who seem genuinely connected in an industry where everything is so manufactured and PR managed. Comments like, they look at each other like nobody else is in the room, That one has thousands of likes. The chemistry isn't acting, it's real and you can tell. Another one that keeps resurfacing, and my personal favorite, Bridgerton found another duo that's going to break the internet, and they know exactly what they're doing. That last one is interesting because it raises a real question. How much of what we're seeing is organic, and how much is Shondaland's very deliberate, very strategic press machine? Because let's be honest, this production team knows how to build a ship. They watched what happened with Luke Thompson and Yaren Ha. They watched the Lucaran fandom explode and drag a whole season's worth of engagement with it. They are not naive about what happens when two attractive, talented, charismatic people have visible chemistry and the internet gets a hold of it. So is Belmont and Ella's connection real? Almost certainly yes, based on everything we've covered. Is Shondaland also leaning into it strategically? Also, almost certainly yes. Both things can be true, and both things make for absolutely incredible content. Here's what I think is really happening, and this is the part I want you to think about. Bridgerton has always been a show about love stories that feel inevitable. The slow burn, the resistance, the undeniable pull between two people who can't quite stay away from each other. That is the formula, and what's fascinating is that the cast itself keeps living that formula in real life. We saw it with Luke and Yaren. The Lucaran fandom didn't appear out of thin air. It appeared because fans watched two people who clearly adore each other, on screen and off, and recognized something true in it. And now with Belmont and Ella, we might be watching the next chapter of that same story. The Bridgerton universe keeps producing these moments, and every time it does, the fanbase grows, the engagement spikes, and a whole new generation of viewers gets pulled into the orbit of this show. That is not an accident. That is a production that understands its audience at a very deep level. So here's where I land. The chemistry between Belmont Cameli and Ella Bright is real, it's visible, and it's only going to get more intense as Season 5 coverage ramps up. Fans have already noticed. The internet has already started, and we are just getting started covering it here. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Belmont and Ella's connection is purely professional, or is there something more going on? Drop a yes or no in the comments right now, and tell me what moment convinced you. I read every single comment, and it genuinely shapes what I cover next. If you're new here, subscribe, because this channel is the place to be for Bridgerton deep dives, and I have a lot more coming very soon.